Greetings, hope this finds you well. So, Bernie Sanders came out recently, I think it was maybe yesterday or the day before, with his kind of Green New Deal plan, and kind of read it over and jotted down kind of some of the main points. And I gotta say, I'm very impressed with how just forward thinking and progressive all of his policy proposals have been. Not too long before releasing his Green New Deal plan, he also came out with a criminal justice reform plan, which was really impressive in a lot of ways as well. But as far as his Green New Deal plan goes, he wants to transition to 100% renewable energy for electricity and transportation by 2030, and fully decarbonization by 2050 at the latest. And through this Green New Deal transition, it would create 20 million good paying union jobs, which is pretty awesome. The cost of his Green New Deal program would be $16.3 trillion. And those, that money would be invested towards efforts explicitly to include also communities who have been systematically excluded in the past, communities of color, minority communities, and indigenous communities. So that's really awesome that they pointed that out as well. Also, a just transition for the workers, in the fossil fuel industry, with, housing assistance, job training, healthcare, as well as, I think part of the plan for that was a 5 years of salary they could also get if needed during that transition. Another tenet of his plan was to declare climate change a national emergency, which it definitely is. Kind of silly that some people still aren't really understanding the extreme seriousness that climate change poses, but that's another topic. Another part of the plan is supporting small farms by investing in ecologically regenerative and sustainable agriculture, something that's really close to my heart. I really enjoy growing food, so it's really awesome that was part of the Green New Deal plan as well. Again, points out justice for the frontline communities who are and will be the most affected by the negative consequences of climate change. Really awesome they pointed that out again. Commit to reducing emissions throughout the world by providing $200 billion to the Green Climate Fund, which is really awesome because, the United States, during our kind of industrialization period, we used up a huge amount of resources, and there's these other developing countries that are starting to industrialize and, starting to use up more resources. So it's definitely important that we help them try to make a clean transition. So it's awesome that they pointed that out as well. Rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, kind of a no-brainer there. Also reducing domestic emissions by at least 71% by 2030, and reduce emissions of less industrialized countries by 36%. Making massive investments in research and development around, clean energy, infrastructure, transportation, that type of thing. Expand the climate justice movement. So again, just focusing on the different communities that have been the most impacted by climate change. Expanding the Civilian Conservation Corps, and I think I also kind of talked about making sure that those were good paying, livable wage jobs as well. In this plan, again, it would cost $16.3 trillion. The plan would pay for itself over 15 years through a number of ways. Fossil fuel industry, making them pay for their pollution and their destruction of the environment through fees, taxes, litigation, scaling back the military spending, on maintaining our global oil dependence. The wealthy and the large corporations pay their fair share. I think that's, again, a no-brainer. If you make, millions or tens or hundreds of millions of dollars a year, you should be paying a lot more of that in taxes. And as Bernie points out, or his team, or his campaign, however you want to phrase it, by not doing anything, we would be costing ourselves trillions of dollars of more money than this plan would actually cost. So if we don't take any action, it will cost $34.5 trillion by the end of this century. Again, his plan was less than half that price, so by not doing anything, we would actually be costing ourselves trillions of dollars, as well as basically destroying any chance of our species in particular surviving very long on this planet. So it's I keep saying it, but it's a no-brainer. We need to do everything we can to make sure that Bernie is the nominee for the Democratic Party for the 2020 presidential race, because he has the best chance, in my opinion, of beating Trump, as well as his policies are the most progressive of any of the kind of mainstream Democratic candidates, and he always points out it's not about him, it's about creating a movement, and he has that movement behind him to really push forward this very progressive platform that he is running on, and he keeps further developing, and his Green New Deal plan is just a further example of that, and it's really exciting to see these bold plans of action that he has to tackle these very important and serious issues that are facing our country and the world, because climate change doesn't just affect the United States, it obviously affects everywhere on the planet. So just really awesome to go over some of his policies, and I would love to hear your thoughts on Bernie's Green New Deal plan.